Hi everybody. Looks like I may be back. Let me refresh my Facebook here. Hopefully I am back live and you guys can see me. I don't know what happened. I got cut off with Facebook and you don't know what's up with technology. I don't understand what is going on. So maybe this will work. Let's see. Am I live here this time? There we go. Looks like I am back live. Okay, so where I left off is here. This is our piece of distressed gold paper. So what I did is I had taken my 4 pieces of designer series paper and all I did is I glued them to my piece of distressed gold paper. So I'm not sure where I stopped in my previous video, but I had it moved too far ahead. So we have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock, our distressed gold paper, and then our designer series paper that I just cut into those pieces. So we're gonna adhere that down to our card base with our Stampin' Seal adhesive. And that is gonna go right on the front here in the middle. And we are going to use that same sentiment from our last project. It is sending warmth your way, but this time we are going to use Night of Navy ink. Hi Barb, thanks for jumping on again. I don't know what happened. Gotta love technology. You know, everything was the same as last time and it just decided to cut out in the middle of it. I don't know exactly why, but we should be back up and running now. Fingers crossed, we're good to go. All right, we're gonna take the ends. So we stamped that in Night of Navy ink, and we're just gonna take the ends and we're gonna trim that at our flag. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my scissors. I did a small snip in the center of the paper, and I'm gonna do it again on this side. So you just take your scissors and do a small snip up the center, and then from one corner to the middle, and then the other side corner to the middle, and then you get an even angle on both sides for your flag angles here. So we're good there. All right, on the back of this, we're gonna add our Stampin' Dimensionals. And that's gonna go in the lower left corner of our card. There. If I could get it straight, that would be probably the best. And then we're gonna add 3 of the medium-sized gold snowflakes, and I'm gonna use my take your pick tool to pick those up. And we're gonna put 1 there, 1 down here, and then 1 up here. So it looks like you have some snowfall coming down with the gold snowflakes, and this is a really beautiful project. Now you can see I cut this one just a little bit lower because I wanted more of the sky in this one, but you can see depending on where you cut your designer series paper is where you're going to get that image to be the focal point of your project. So this is our second project here for the horse and sleigh project pieces for Christmas in July. I hope you guys liked that one. That is a really fun project. Like I mentioned, that's more of the medium casual stamper. The first one we had the beginner, and then that was our intermediate project. All right, now our last card here today. This is our faux shaker card. So we have this really fun faux shaker card that I'm going to show you how to create. Now for this one, you'll need a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock. So we're going to fold that in half. This is 4 1/4 by 11, so we're making an easel card with this one. And we're just going to put that off to the side for now. We also have a piece of basic white cardstock. We're going to stamp our sleigh on this, and then our piece of designer series paper. Now we're going to stamp our designer series paper first. We're going to use Misty Moonlight ink, so the same as our backdrop here. And we're going to stamp the sentiment that says, wishing you a, oh, you could probably help if you could see it, wishing you a season of cheer. And this is just gonna go in the upper right corner, right onto our designer series paper. So right like that. So you could even just create this card with your stamp and maybe a couple snowflakes onto your cardstock, and that would be a great project right there. So if you are more of a beginner stamper, this is still a great project for you to be able to create with. All right, we're gonna stamp our horse, and I'm gonna bring in my scratch paper because we are not gonna ink up the whole entire sleigh. So I don't need the back part of the sleigh here. I just need this horse part. So we're just gonna ink that up with Tuxedo Black Memento ink on a scratch piece of paper. So we have our grid paper down because just in case it gets off of the basic white when I stamp, we'll have the grid paper down there, right? So I only inked up half of it from like the horse tail up is what I need. I don't need anything else. So we're just gonna stamp this right onto our piece of cardstock. And we are actually gonna die cut the horse. So we'll have to die cut the entire thing because it's the sleigh and the horse are connected, but we're just going to die cut out this part here. So I'm gonna use washi tape to hold down the die in place. Probably one more piece here. And when we run it through the die cut machine, it is going to just end the die cut right there on the sleigh. So we don't need the whole sleigh die cut, just we want the horse part. We don't need the whole thing. Now these dies do fit into our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so that's what I'm gonna use here. And my plates. So we have our 2 plates down. We've got our horse in there and then our plate on top, and we're gonna run it through the machine. Crunching and cracking noises are normal, just cutting your paper. And put that off to the side. So we have, now our horse is cut out. And there we go. But we have all these little pieces here that we don't need. So we're just going to take our scissors and kind of round those edges off of that. So we have just the horse from the sleigh. We don't need the whole thing, just the horse is great. Okay, we're going to color this in with Pecan Pie Stampin' Blends. If you don't have Pecan Pie, you can use Crumb Cake would work for this. Early Espresso is a little dark, and there aren't Early Espresso Stampin' Blends, I don't think. But you can use any kind of like brown tone that you have. Pecan Pie is what I have that works the best. So we're going to take the dark Pecan Pie first, and we're just going to highlight some of the edges around the horse. We're gonna do some fur on its legs down here, around down there, its arm, and up there. And then we'll come in with the light Pecan Pie and just color in the rest of the horse. I'm using the brush tip on this. The first side I used was the bullet end, like the marker, fine tip writing marker side. I find that when you're coloring in these larger areas that the brush end works just a little bit better because you can get over bigger areas more quick. Right, our tail here, the horse. Now for the tail, I'm just doing kind of swipes. I don't want to do the whole entire tail. I'm just going to do little swipes of color. And I'm going to do the same thing on the mane as well. So for the mane though, I'm going to use the bullet end and just do little swipes, kind of like it's flowing in the air there. So there we have our horse. I'm going to, where did our designer series paper go that I stamped? Da, 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 da. Where did that go? Kind of a big important part of the project. What's that stamped piece? Is it in here? Where did it go? I don't think it fell on the ground. How did I misplace a whole project piece? Where did it go? There it is, right under my stamp set. We're gonna add the horse onto the designer series paper. Now the tail is gonna hang off. The foot is gonna go right up to the edge, but the tail is gonna hang off, and then we'll trim that down with our scissors. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of liquid glue to our horse, and that'll go right there on the edge. I'm gonna hold that down just to get it really good on my designer series paper. And then you can see there's this little bit right here of the tail, and we're just gonna trim that to be flush with our designer series paper. Now, before we add the shaker part, you can see there's a couple of the white snowflakes in here, so we're gonna add that to our designer series paper. And I'm gonna use one of the large white snowflakes, and it's gonna go in the upper left right here, and then two of the smaller white snowflakes there and there. Right, now it's time to make the shaker part. So Stampin' Up! Sells, these are called our clear medium envelopes. Now you can actually put a card inside this envelope and mail it just like any other regular envelope. So it has an adhesive flap on them. They come 50 in a package, and they're really cheap. They're like $7. So you could actually put like a stamp on here and an address, and you could mail a card just like this. A lot of demonstrators use these to protect their cards for selling them, or just when we do card swaps, some of them put them in clear envelopes. But I like to use these for faux shaker cards. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my piece of designer series paper. Now this designer series paper is a 4 by 5 1/4. Let me get that project out of the way. 4 by 5 1/4. So we're gonna put that into our envelope, and you can see it's not as big as the clear envelope. So we're gonna take some tape, just regular Scotch tape, and we're gonna fold that flap over, and we're just gonna adhere it with some Scotch tape on the back. So this will make your envelope be the same size as your designer series paper. Right. Here we go. And now we're gonna do the shaker part. So these are the loose silver sequins. You have to be very careful when you open them because they're loose. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my project, kind of open it up, and I'm gonna pour some of these sequins right into the front of my envelope here. So we're just gonna add those in here. And you don't want to add a lot. You just want enough to kind of cover the bottom to give it that little snowy effect there. Then you want to make sure that you replace the lid so that you don't spill these all over your desk, and put that off to the side. Now I like to, there's this piece at the top here with this adhesive strip. I like to cut that off. So I'm just gonna take my scissors and cut that whole adhesive strip off. And I like to cut that off because it just makes it too bulky underneath. And we're just gonna fold this down, and we're going to use, again, Scotch tape to close this whole thing up. So right on the back here, and you just want to make sure the whole thing really is just kind of closed up so that you don't have any loose sequins, and that is how you make the shaker part. An easy shaker card. That's why they call it a faux shaker, because you're using that clear envelope. Now I have found a couple of different ways to adhere this. You can use a Stamp and Seal Plus adhesive. So Stamp and Seal Plus is different than our Stamp and Seal. Stamp and Seal is more of your everyday crafting tape. Stamp and Seal Plus is more for those projects that you really want to stick together. So boxes, street bags, shaker cards. Or you can use Tear and Tape adhesive. So Tear and Tape adhesive is very strong as well, but it is a little bit easier to adhere. So we're gonna use Tear and Tape adhesive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Tear and Tape and just line the edges with that. And you can see how easy it is to apply because it literally just tears right off the roll. And one at the top. And I also like to do a piece diagonal right in the middle to really make sure that is stuck down to there. So we have our faux shaker. Now to get all the backings off, you take your pick tool with its pointy end. Works really well for getting up underneath the backing, and you can just peel it right off here. So there we go. Our top adhesive strip, and then our diagonal. With shaker cards, you really want to make sure that everything is stuck on there very, very well. You don't want sequins flying around the card when they get it. All right, you're just gonna take that and put that right on front of your card. And that is how you create a faux shaker Christmas in July card. So very fun. You can see they have the little things here. Now I love to create shaker cards for a variety of occasions. Birthdays are really fun to create shaker cards, and these loose silver sequins work with a variety of occasions. So it's really fun to be able to create shaker cards with these loose sequins, and you get so many in here. It says that you get 1,200 gems in here. I have made 3 or 4 shaker cards, I think, and I still have a ton of sequins left. So very easy and fun to create with these loose silver sequins. And that is our third project today with the Horse and Sleigh bundle from the online exclusives Making Christmas in July projects. All right, so let's bring in our 3 cards that we worked on today and let me know which one is your favorite. We have our beginner stamper card here with the deer and the sending you warmth your way. We have our intermediate stamper card with our designer series paper featured with Night of Navy, and then our faux shaker card with our Misty Moonlight. So let me know in the comments which one is your favorite here today. I think actually my favorite this week is this one featuring the designer series paper. With that pop of gold and that Night of Navy in the background, it really makes that designer series paper stand out so much from the card. So let me know in the comments which one is your favorite here today. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. I apologize for the technical difficulties, but I got back up and running and we are good to go. I hope you have a great week, and don't forget, if you want to get these Makers Monday projects for free, you can place an order on my website using the host code below, and I will send you the project pieces for this week. If you place an order of $50 or more, I will send you the adhesive backed snowflakes for free as well. I hope you have a great